If you've really been raped, you need some criminal charges. Where are these other women that have accused these people? They need to come forward as well.
What we know, Vanessa, is that women get shamed. Women get shamed. And when they get shamed, they don't want to come forward. And we don't know why this woman went into sex work. We don't know what trauma happened in her past life. Yeah. But what we do know is that this woman has finally found the courage to speak up. And I'm going to stand with her.
But has she found the courage, or does she just want the dollar bill?
Let's face it, the Queen is hoping that Prince Harry, naked in a hotel room with some people in Vegas, comes back into the headlines.
What was his motivation? Well, one theory was the fact that his father, Gilbert Sr., was cutting back on his allowance from $3,000 a month to a mere $2,800 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Over $200 a month?
Yes.
He's already getting a huge... and Sam...
And he's 30.
I want to introduce a new category for 2015.
Okay.
We've done mental illness, and we've beaten that horse to the ground.
Okay.
And we've done evil. And I'd like to introduce something called environmental illness, which means that you were raised in such a jacked up environment for whatever reason that you turn out to be a pretty bad person. And maybe it has a little bit of an element of mental illness, but it also's got to have an element of accountability. So it's like a lot of mentally ill people, they function just fine, they don't kill.
In a way, this is another death because of stigma. Because the family couldn't be honest. Hey, I've got a kid with a biological disorder. He's not taking his meds. It's not going to go well here. Everybody get behind him, make sure he takes care of himself. Right. Because somebody's dead because of stigma. I mean, if there's a lesson to be learned here, everybody, do not let stigma prevent you from getting help yourself or from helping your family. And not talking about it. If he had a heart condition, he'd bring that up. Why? Because it's the brain. We can't talk about it. Yes, the brain does affect you, but you are under the influence of a biology that can be treated medically.
He got a lot of notoriety, or at least his two penises did, for his AMA post, which is on Reddit, and AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. This was the 4th most popular AMA post in history, 17,000 comments, and he has a Twitter account for his two penises, and they have 20,000 Twitter followers. Well,
that Valley dude is joining us now. We're going to call him John. He is 25 years old.
The reason for anonymity is honestly parallel it to Superman telling everyone that he's Clark Kent. He wouldn't have a moment of peace no matter where he went.
How does this impact your sex life? I know that you've had a number of partners. I think you said around 1,000.
Sex life is impacted not really much at all, besides the fact that there's 2 more for my partner to deal with. And there's always a little bit of a shock and a catch off guard, even when they know in advance, because they don't really know what to expect.
What I heard him say is take your child to the wood. Where I am from and where Pat is from, that means to take your child out there and to beat them.
No, it is an idiomatic expression that was used, and if you listen to the full context, not once does he mention beating, not once does he mention spanking.
It's implied.
We don't know what it is. This poor old woman has a big problem here. These kids may have been abused. They may be drug addicts. Who knows? Kaylee, the way to deal with drug addiction is not take people to the woodshed.
If all you had to do was beat a user in order to get them clean, you would have no practice, Dr. Drew.
Or I'd have a very different kind of practice. Sam, you're going to give us these new details about the killings.
Horrifying details, Dr. Drew. So on Monday, when the parents left the house, they, quote, told the 16-year-old son to lock the 15-year-old sister, their daughter, in her room.
All right. Sam, I got a million questions for us. Let's slow this down. They went, where'd they go?
Okay, so he is a truck driver. Remember, he's a long-distance truck driver. He went to go work. She's unemployed.
Well, so she has to what?
She goes with him.
She goes with him and leaves 3 kids behind.
Yes.
It's hard to say this, but you have to have compassion for the girl that was the murderer.
Of course.
You have to.
Oh, my God.
I'm not saying she's not a murderer, and I'm not saying she wouldn't even do it again, because what they've done, they may have created a monster, but you still have compassion.
50% of LGBT or transgender youth have suicidal ideations.
That's
and
right.
that is because
That's exactly
they do not have support. And hold on. First of all, I want to applaud Dr. Drew, because what Dr. Drew did is what everyone needs to do. What he said at the beginning is he said, I don't have the verbiage, so please excuse me, but I'm willing to learn. These parents were not willing to learn. As a parent, if there's something that I do not understand about my child, I am willing to learn, and I put my ego aside and show them the love and compassion.
That's not their ego. Right. It is their faith. People take their faith very seriously.
I agree, but I'm a Christian man.
They took it very seriously. It wasn't their ego. They did what they thought was right.
Hey, parents, if you have any sort of party where there's more than a gathering of 17 or 18-year-olds that you can't see at all times, there will be substances. There will be. I guarantee it.
Well, it's BS, Dr. Drew, and you're being too fair on this parent. You
No.
Well, hold on.
Wait.
You said maybe it got out of hand. I threw a party once in high school that got way out of hand. The whole high school showed up, but guess what? I called the cops on myself. He could have called the cops on himself, too.
Growing up in high school, there were parties like at Samantha's house where a kid's parents were gone and we all went to their house and everybody, I never drank, but all of my friends did, right? And everybody drank.
You never drank. I'm sure. I got Lynn, perfect. You're perfect. Sam's
Honest
calling the
to
cops.
God, put my hand on the Bible,
Sam's
Drew.
called the cops on herself. You never drank. Okay, I got it.